To get more on this developing story, let's cross live to editor of Behind the News Network, Joe Mlanga. Joe M., thank you very much for joining me here on the program. So, really, is it the first time that Europe has, put itself on this pedestal of being so welcoming for migrants and then just reversing its decision the very same moment it was confronted with reality and with these people who cross very dangerous waters to get into Europe? No, it is not the first time. So why is this happening?
We need to remember what Joseph Borrell said. Europe is a garden and the rest of the world is a jungle. And they must protect the garden. Yeah. But who's the gardener? Who's maintaining the garden? Why is their garden state green? Where did they get the manure to make the garden stay so green? It's from the very same people that they are blocking. And the behavior, you can tell that what Joseph Borrell said, it was a collective ideology. It's a collective statement that all of them have agreed to look at the rest of the world as a jungle, especially Africa, the very same continent where they stole the wealth of Europe. Europe's economy was mostly based on imperialism. Hence, this behavior still continues even today. Spain was supported mostly by African people who was supporting them against Argentina in the World Cup. Today, the very same people are now treated as if now they don't matter, they are nothing. And majority of the business people in Europe, we do know this. We know for a fact that these people get trafficked to go and work for them in their factories. They treated them as cheap labor. So what they're trying to portray and their history and what we know about their behavior, we just look at it and laugh because we know exactly that this is a sideshow. They do need them. Even in Germany, a lot of undocumented immigrants are there. They're boosting the economy. They work as slaves, as cheap labor. So this behavior was expected from Europeans. Hence, they believe that they are the greenest garden in the world. Yeah. We're not surprised.
Yeah, actually, I was just about to ask you about this quote by Joseph Borrell. They have the jungle across the sea, and there they have this little beautiful garden, nobody touch it. But given the history of relations between Europe and Africa, what grounds, just how much moral standing does Europe really have to lecture other nations and to really just make these analogies of jungle and garden and, again, put themselves on such a pedestal, given their general relations with Africa and the global South?
These are the same people who still own countries like Namibia, the reparations. In countries like in South Africa, the colonizers have never left. They control things. They go around and cause havoc with their banking, with the IMF. They have a lot of deeply rooted things that they do to other countries. Look what they're doing in Iran. America is the extension of Europe. These are the same Europeans. They have there's nothing that would put them in any position where they can lecture, where they can criticize anybody. These are the causes of trouble around the sorrow that they've created around the world. Today, they act as if they're the cleanest people. We know the history. We know the history of Europe. The whole entire chaos around the world, it was their invasion. They invaded a lot of countries. They colonized. We speak English today because we're forced. It's part of colonization. So they cannot sit in any position and talk as if now they are the ones to lecture Russia. They are the ones to lecture China or Iran in anything that is morally correct. They are the last people to have any form of an idea as far as that is concerned.
Yeah, Joe, just let me quickly jump in here. We're running out of time, but I just can't help but ask, don't you find it a bit ironic that the European Union, they like to create this image of the bloc that they're so united, they stand together shoulder to shoulder. And then when this crisis hits, I mean, 60,000, yeah, it is a big number, but still, just they're one crisis away from starting discussions of just evicting nations out of the Schengen Agreement, at least temporarily, they see. So they're go-to solution to solve a crisis is just to ostracize their own fellow member state and just go, okay, you deal with this until you're done with it. You're not part of the club. Don't you find it a bit ironic? And what does it say about the bloc's unity altogether?
No, there's no such thing as unity. But we need to remember that majority of those leaders that sit in those positions, especially in Brussels, these guys have bosses. They get told what to do. They get told what to say. Some of the things that they do, they don't necessarily believe in them. But the very same people who funded them, who placed them there, are the ones that make this guy look like they're confused. Some of these guys, their intentions are good, but because they have bosses with black suits, with suitcases, people who used to blackmail them, people who will create problems for them. I mean, look at UK. Every single 6 months we have a new leader there. Now ask yourself a question, where is the stability of Europe? So it tells you exactly that these guys are not entirely in control. They're not independent. The banking families, the military industrial complex families are the ones that dictate to these guys and tell them what to do. So whatever that we see, the fake unity, the this and the that, all those things, it's not up to them. It's their bosses who dictate to them. These are just they're not even managers. These are just messengers who will pass the message from one place to the other. They have no control, they have no say, they just get told. So it is obvious how they flip-flop. They do this, they do that. There's no stability in Europe. So it tells you exactly that they are controlled from somewhere. Whoever the boss is, whatever that he decides, they do as the boss said to them.
Yeah, totally. Well, basically, yes. First, they say that how they need to keep their borders secure. Then they allow basically what's an equivalent of like 15 to 20 military brigades, depending on how you count, due to their own policies that they had just adopted, only to go back and reverse their own policies. Well, to me, it sounds like a bit of a mess. But, well, thank you very much for your time. Joe Mhlanga, well, he's the editor of Behind the News Network. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.